Hi, Jock. How are you, man?
Fantastic, fantastic. Very excited that we're actually getting this started and off the ground. And yeah, a couple of
Yeah,
positive comments on the previous videos. So yeah, it's all good.
good
And
stuff,
yourself?
man. Yeah, listen, this is our second little video. So, and I think maybe we should keep it a little bit short and sweet.
Yeah.
So, I think this is literally a little bit of a follow up from our previous discussion that we had. We mentioned the goals of support your local business, and I think maybe let's just quickly. I did a quick PowerPoint slide deck so we can go through that, show the people what it is. And I think maybe what we should do is we should actually have this, once we get our website up and running, we should have that posted on the website. It's not a definitive list. And then obviously that will probably evolve as we take this journey and embark on it and continue with it. It will probably change a little bit, but I think let's do have something uh, you know on the table, and then we can evolve and work it from there. How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds awesome. We can either have it as a live link, so we copy it over to slide deck, Google's version of PowerPoint, and we have the live link underneath the video stacked as well. Um, yeah, but I like that idea. Let's get something live because done is always better than perfect.
I love it. Okay, so let me just quickly share this so we can go with where we want to go. Can you see that?
Yeah, that is perfect.
Okay, so let me just open this full screen. There we go. Okay, happiness, you can see everything.
Beautiful, beautiful. I
Okay,
love the
so
logo.
I think let's kick off with that. We did some a while back. We took some time and designed that specific logo, and we'll get to that. That's one of the subjects in a later video that we're going to do. But that's officially the support your local business logo that we're going to use, going forward. And there's some other derivatives of that, etc., etc. And we'll explain to the guys how we got to that and why it looks like that, etc., etc. Right, so just a little bit of
Maybe
a
we can even get your designer on and talk about different things about designing a logo, what the psychology of colors are, and all the rest of it. Sorry.
Joke, I love that. I love that. I think maybe we should, part of that envisaged, expert interview series that we spoke about. Maybe
Yeah.
that's not a bad idea to actually add. I'll just make a note so we can actually add, a graphic designer in there, to just come and talk to us and give us some pointers. People know what's going on. Okay,
Yeah.
so like we said last time, it's the support your local business concept stems from the pandemic, the lockdown that we had. A lot of businesses have been very, very negatively impacted by that, and then obviously the economy has not been great in the last 5 years or so. So all this, the whole idea behind that is actually empower and help people. So charity starts at home. Together, we're much stronger than trying to survive on your own. And I think that's literally one of the main themes is we want to harness the people power, and actually get local people and local businesses behind the drive or the movement or the revolution, as you want to call it.
Sorry, one thing that I think we might have needed to discuss just a little just before we jump into the document is would you say that it's important to set up because obviously it takes some time to set up a document like this. Would you say that it's necessary to have a document like this before you start or as you start, or why would you put a document like this together as opposed to just starting?
Jacques, I think one of the main things is, and we touched on it last time as well, it's about being professional, and it's actually conveying that professional image out there. We've got a great logo. That logo speaks to the business, and it forms that unity, and it shows people that you're serious. This is not something that was done on the back end of a cigarette box. It was done properly. And the same thing with the slide deck, the template, if you what you see there. Yeah, we can probably do some changes and get it, really tweaked nicely, etc., etc. But the reality is, this looks professional, and it actually conveys that professional image that we want to, that we want. Do you need this as a business? You know what? If you're a brick and mortar business that actually sells pies to people, you don't need this. If you are a services type business that actually integrate with clients, showing them your services and that type of stuff, you have to go the professional route. Otherwise, you just break down your brand, and it literally is a reflection of your business and the professionalism that you bring to the party. And obviously with that, it builds that know, like, and trust factor with, and we'll touch on that a little, in later videos, but it builds that know, like, and trust factor with your audience. They look at this, because you're consistent, they actually start recognizing your stuff. And the people that, the followers that we're going to build, they will recognize our videos and the look and the feel, because that's the intention. They will recognize our social media profiles, because that's the intention. It's got the same look and feel. They call it the digital set. And, if you want to go and have a quick look on Google, for the guys out there, go and actually Google digital set. It means people has got an uncanny, feeling looking at stuff. And if there's a disjointedness in there, they will pick it up. So you need to have the same look and feel throughout. So whatever your business, or however your business is conveyed on your website, it needs to carry through to your social media pages and all that type of stuff as well. So that's why, I think it's always good to be professional. It's always good to look, the look and feel of your business to look professional. And that's what we're trying to, convey with the slide deck that you just, that we're showing the guys now.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the fact that you say it's client facing, and obviously everything that goes with that. But listening to what you've put together here, I think it'll also be great if you're more than one person in the business, to kind of have everyone centered around the same idea. So it's difficult to get someone to buy in if you don't have something that concrete that you can say, here it is, blue on white, or black on white, if you're starting out, to say, this is kind of what we stand for, this is where we are, this is why we are. So that usually when you're trying to explain something to someone, even if you're the best at explaining stuff, there's always some miscommunication. So I think having it
lost in translation.
Yeah, I think having it on paper, even if you don't have the branding, obviously the branding when it's client side. But what I'm seeing from this is it'll actually be a great thing to circulate inside your company, or anyone that gets involved with your company, so that okay, this is what our goals are, and this is why we're here. Yeah, so cool. Sorry, just wanted to get into that just before we jump.
No, Jacques, I think it's really a great point to raise. It's that, put the peg in the ground and say, this is what we stand for. And, it's not a definitive, like we say, this will evolve as we continue with it. But the reality is, it gives the people out there the taste of what we stand for. And, even with a little bit of changes here and there, and we'll continue going back to this, etc., the mission and the vision, and we'll go through all that type of stuff. But the reality is, we're showing people what we stand for. And everybody, there's no two ways about it. When you read through this, you'll know what we stand for and what's our goals, where we want to go with this. Okay, happiness.
Awesome.
Can we go on?
Yeah, happy.
Okay. So what we're going to do, the concept is to harness and utilize the support your local business digital assets and social media channels. Now, the digital assets that we refer to here are typically the website and landing pages that we're going to use. Jacques is our technical expert, and we'll get through the landing pages, why, and all that type of stuff. But that's typically your digital assets. Other digital assets, this slide deck, the template, that's a digital asset, you know, and all other types of content that you create, etc., etc. And then the social media channels. So what we're going to do is we're going to harness and utilize the digital assets in this the media, social media channels. And the whole idea behind that is to create that national movement, you know, that support your local business movement that we spoke about. Secondly, our focus is obviously local businesses and then obviously the general public, because the one can't survive with the other. You know, it's literally, that's a symbiotic relationship, you know, where the two live, you know, off each other. And then what we'll do is
without each other.
Yeah, sorry. You're right. Okay, so all local businesses will be encouraged to support the local communities through employing local, buying local from local suppliers and local businesses, and then supporting that local community, you know, that's schools, charities, and all that type of stuff. So that's the concept behind what we want to do, and you'll see these things now flows through to our goals that we're going to discuss right now.
I love that quote of yours that says communities support businesses who support communities. And I think it's something that gets so lost, because if you're an entrepreneur or business owner, you kind of get into that zone where everything's about your business and you're struggling to make ends meet, and the human resources side of it, and usually juggling family and all the rest of it, that you get into your own cocoon of just driving your business forward. But if you were to, I don't know, sponsor the local rugby team, or one of the school rugby teams, technically for your business, it's not really going to be a massive overhead, but it's something that's going to give you positioning inside of the community. It's also, if you start looking at social media, it's something that you can, it's going to make your brand a three-dimensional community-based brand, because you're no longer just talking about your product. You're now saying, look at the first rugby team or the under 16s, how they performed this weekend, really proud of the guys, or they didn't win against these guys, but we have a plan for next week. You can start talking about the community and getting them involved. And then, as opposed to just going, buy my stuff, we have specials, buy my stuff. So yeah, it's, sorry, just a bit off track there. Let's carry on.
No, I think, Jacques, what's very important what you just said there, it's, you know, and I think most people think, okay, you know, you're talking about money. It's not just about money. It's about support. It's about you and your 6, 7 other, you know, local businesses get together and go and paint the police station's fence, you know, and I'm just playing with ideas. It's about going to the SPCA and helping out there, you know, it's going
cleaning up a park,
giving your time. That's it. It's giving time and say, you know what, I used to play quite well rugby, and I'm going to actually get involved and help the guys out, you know, and it's that kind of thing that permeates and carries through to the local community, because you are part of that local community in which you do business. And that, I think, is the thing. You know, I love that, you know, community support businesses who support local communities. And I think we probably need to use that as a tagline. We'll get to the taglines and things like that, but I love the idea to use that as a tagline, because I think it's very, very strong, you know, and it actually conveys in one sentence a lot of what we stand for. Okay, guys, so let's just quickly run. Yeah, you'll see me making notes when I look down. You know, I'm actually making notes as we speak, because, you know, having this discussion, and this is the beauty of this, having this discussion, you actually start thinking of other things as well, and you start making notes, and then, you know, and that is the beauty of having this kind of, you know, dialogue with other business people and entrepreneurs. Okay, John, do you want to tackle, I tell you what, you tackle the first 2 or 3, and then I'll tackle the last, you know, few ones there on the list.
100%. So first, we want to create a massive brand exposure and recognition for support to local business as a brand. I think that pretty much stands on itself. I think we cheated a little bit with some of the back-end stuff that we've already done. Obviously, getting your brand sorted first, and then as a route to market, getting some exposure and recognition out there. So yeah, that's going to be a massive drive for us. Then motivating and
Jock, just on that,
yeah,
just on that. Now, just quickly touching on it, that badge, that logo that you see there on the bottom, that is designed to give and support that massive brand exposure and recognition. So there's a goal behind why that looks like that.
Yeah, and I think that's what the graphic designer will talk about as well. But yeah, there's a reason why it's blue. There's a reason why it's blue. There's a psychological reason why it's yellow. There's a reason why it's round. Like everything, there's a lot of thought that goes into creating that, because that's something that you can easily spot and you can easily identify.
Exactly.
But let's get into that later.
Yeah.
Motivate and encourage local businesses and people in South Africa to do everything in their power to assist, empower, and help local businesses and their communities to survive the aftermath of COVID-19 and the struggling economy. Yeah,
that's a mouthful, huh?
yeah, no, it's a sentence and a half, but yeah, it ties into what we want to do. I think that also kind of puts everything together. I think this initiative has been a passion of both of ours, and I think COVID-19 just kind of pushed it to the forefront. Like we're both serial entrepreneurs. I know we have a couple of companies and yeah, doing a couple of things, and obviously as serial entrepreneurs ourselves, we find that the struggle is real, and being so alone, no one really understands what you're going through, because they might run their own business, but they're not in the same place as you are. So they might have two people, they might not have any, they might be a startup. And even if you find someone that's in the perfect sweet spot, exactly where you are looking to grow or looking to scale at that specific point, they might be in a completely different vertical. Yeah, so finding local businesses and encouraging them to support and empower. I did want to make one caveat announcement here. When we talk about support local business, I think the last time we kind of made it sound like we're excluding franchises and stuff like that. And it's not really to the exclusion of franchise. Yes, they have a certain amount of cash that's not being spent in the community, but there's no reason why a franchise store can't be still seen as a community-based store. They can still support whatever, their local SPCA, the local park, the local whatever. They can get involved in the community and still be a local business, even though they have a brand that might allow them to get some cheaper deals somewhere. But yeah, just wanted to throw that in there.
No, Jacques, I think it's a very good point. You know, there's a lot. I mean, I'm not going to name the brand, but I mean, there's a restaurant, that Italian restaurant franchise, operator, and he's very, very involved with, charity and that type of stuff, so you're 100% right. That guy lives in Alberton. This is where I live. And I mean, this is where he trades, and this is literally where he actually does his thing. And I think that's what's important. So it's not just, your mom and pop shop. or store. It might be a franchise that's owned by a local guy, and I mean that guy's a local guy because he actually employs local and he buys wherever he can. Obviously, franchises got a lot more strict, requirements and all that procurement and all that type of jazz. But the reality is, those guys should not be excluded from this because they are also part of the local community.
Yeah, it's kind of that you get your badge as a local business if you start supporting the local community in whichever way, if it's a soup kitchen or just time, or even if you're just going to sporting events and sponsoring a couple of things or standing there for an hour or two selling someone else's stuff. I don't know. It's just about getting involved, and that's kind of how you get your local business badge, which refers to the logo. But yeah, we'll get to all of that. But I just wanted to mention that after the last video, it kind of felt like we're saying no. Anyone that has a brand that's not created in that community is rubbish, and that's not the idea. Let's carry on swiftly. Building the support your local business membership base consisting of local businesses. So fortunately, we touched a little bit on that now, which is great. Kind of leads into it, and we've just discussed it, so that's awesome. Give the public a good reason to not only visit the Support Your Local Business website, but return there on a consistent and continuous basis through using the Support Your Local Business directory every time they want to buy something. I know originally we spoke about making it a business directory, and that's actually how it started off. I think about a year ago. About 2 years. No, about 2 years ago.
3 years ago.
Geez, how time flies. But I know the idea behind this is some of the communities have WhatsApp chains and WhatsApp, for lack of a better word, WhatsApp channels. So that if you're looking for a plumber, or if you're looking for, I don't know, a good restaurant, you get onto that WhatsApp group. And I heard a brilliant quote today. It's called the trust bridge. And it's, if you don't know something, you ask someone who you trust, who they trust. And it's kind of building a bridge between, I ask you one, listen, where's a great restaurant? You refer someone. And I know inherently that if you like it, then I'll like it because I like you, or I trust you. Hopefully you don't, you can trust your friends a little bit better. And it's not one of those scenarios where they send you down the wrong rabbit hole. But yeah, so that was the idea with the whole business directory, that you can come onto the website and then find businesses who have the same moral compass of, for lack of a better word, but to support local businesses. So you can go on there, and it's a certain type of person that supports their local community. And if you'd like to support your local community, the easiest way to do it, because I like being lazy, and it's, if you give someone money who's doing a great job, they'll take your money and keep doing a good job and keep supporting the community. So the best way to support your own community is buy from someone who does it already. And then, you can feel good about yourself. And if they have a good service, then it's a win-win all around. Yeah, I think that's...
I think just on that, what we're trying to do now, I think this is we're looking at businesses, and we want to get those businesses to actually become, call it, support your business members. And the reason why we want to do that is we want them to actually buy into the support your local business directory and get themselves listed there. And like Jacques said, is actually building that trust. Then we've got followers. So we've got support your local business members, which is the businesses, the local businesses. And then we've got the support your local business followers or supporters, which is the public. And the idea, like we refer or said earlier, the one can't really live without the other. The two work together. And the supporters, and the idea behind that is exactly that. So you build that I love that word, that trust bridge, where you've got your WhatsApp group. You ask, listen, do you have a pool guy? And you've got 3 or 4 guys that actually recommends this pool guy. Guess what? It is a solid pool guy. This guy is not going to drop you. He knows what he's doing. I need a plumber. I need a painter. I need a tiler. I need, you understand the concept behind that is building a supplier base of people that really, stands for the same purpose, the same goals that we have, is actually providing great service to the people out there, the public that support your local business supporters. And through doing that and having that directory available, it creates massive value for our supporters, because it takes away this unknown. Is this guy going to screw me over? Is he going to start the job and he never actually ends it? And then, I throw a lot of money after this guy and then eventually he just disappears into the sunset. And it takes away that nonsense. It takes away, and I think what's this, the power of having a support your local business directory. It's not just, I live in Alberton, and it's not just I'm looking for a supplier in Alberton. Let's say I go on holiday and I'm in Cape Town, just a hypothetical example. Now I want a local guy there. Guess what? I go to the support your local business directory and I actually search for local guys, because I am a support your local business supporter, and I'm actually supporting even the local guys in Cape Town or wherever I go. I go for a weekend away to Clarence. Guess what? Go and have a look and see and support the local businesses there. You see how further this thing grows. It's not just where I live in my little town or city. It actually goes further than that, where I work. Guess what? My wife works in Rosebank, so she needs a plumber there. Something happens, at work and she needs a plumber. Guess what? Go to the support your local business directory, where you've got that trust breach of suppliers, and you use the local guys that has already been vetted by the local people. You see how powerful that is? So that's where the benefit comes in for our supporters. So that's the third last point that, we already spoke about that there. And then
I think
comes that movement.
Sorry, I just want to jump in. I can just see the comments going, yeah, but you can use Google for that. And you can, to a certain extent. Like, you will also have reviews and all of that inside of support your local business. But if you go into Google, you can go and have a look at the reviews, and then you kind of have to go through to the guy's website or to their My Google space and kind of try to get an idea of what the business is. So Google's more focused about listing all the businesses that are out there, and telling you how their service is. This is something a little bit more than that. It's more context. So it's not just that the business is there and it's supporting or creating a certain level of service. It's also what the business stands for. So it goes beyond just the business is open and some people like it. It's the business is open, it supports local communities, and it's giving you a great service. So sorry.
It goes much further. That is the message. It goes much further than just a normal Google search. I mean, I use Google probably 50 times a day. The reality is it's unvetted, and you have to trawl through all these things. What we're trying to do is go back to that, create that massive benefit to the support your local business supporters. And then obviously the same thing goes for the support your local members, the local businesses, because if they want to buy something, they go to the directory as well and look at the local suppliers, and guess what? It's already, that trust bridge is there, it's in place, and it makes your buying decision a lot safer and a lot easier. So that all those, so what we're trying to do is we don't want to take away your WhatsApp group for your local community. Please keep it in place, because I want you to use your WhatsApp group to say, go to the Support Your Local Business directory, because we've put the following 20 suppliers, that solid guys in my little neighborhood that knows what they're doing. They are flipping, they already living that ethos that we want to try and convey. And that's the kind of guys we want on that local business directory. We don't want to take anybody, any Dick, Tom, and Harry. We want people that is solid and not going to disappoint the supporters.
Awesome.
Okay. And I think, we already spoke about it. If we go that route, you're going to harness millions of South Africans behind this cause. Millions. Because everybody, and I mean, this is not, every little community can benefit from this. And like I said, going further, you're not in your, where you work. You might not work where you live. Guess what? You still support the local business there, because it becomes a habit. Support your local guys, because it's those local guys that's actually going to take the economy by storm. All you have to do is, like, remember what we said, 5 million people. If we build them strong enough and we help them to grow, and they can employ one extra person, we have created 5 million jobs in South Africa. You know how unbelievably powerful that will be if we get to that point. So we need to, listen, I like the idea, we need to have some sort of tracking in there, So what we should do is we should ask other local guys as we continue with this journey and say, guys, but, tell us, have your business grown? Have you taken this to the next level? And if that's the case, how many people have you employed? And that's the kind of thing that will, show to the world, and South Africa for that matter, how successful this journey is that we are embarking on. Okay.
Awesome.
And then, I think we already spoke about it. The last one is, to create that goodwill with the public. As the organization is actually acting and doing something instead of being a spectator. It's one thing to say, oh, you know what, the economy is crap, everybody's struggling, I don't know what to do. This is actually taking the bull by the horns and actually doing something about it. And like we, exactly the same. This is our second video. We decided to actively start acting and do something about it. Instead of just talking, let's go live and let's do it. And that is what that last thing is about, is actually taking action. And I would love to actually now put this to the people out there and our followers as well. This is not just for business people. If you have been thinking of, you know what, I want to start a small little business on the sideline, this is for you. Local little business, starting from scratch on the sideline. You do not have to quit your day job. But what we want to do is the tools and the knowledge and all the know-how that we want to embark, help people with, and part with. That is actually going to help you. If you've been thinking of starting your own little business, this is for you. It's going to help you to do that. Take the next step and take action, instead of just once again sitting there with like a deer, big kokkewietoge, caught in the headlights and don't know what's going on. Take action. Start chipping away, because that's actually going to make it, take you to the next step. And eventually, you will not know how far you've come in 12 months' time if you every day you take little steps and start doing stuff about it instead of just talking. Okay. So I think that's it. So our marketing strategy, like we said, there's two methods that we want to use. We want to, talk about the organic word of mouth, tapping into that WhatsApp groups, getting that WhatsApp groups to actually refer. We want the followers and the supporters to go to their local guy and say, have you heard about Support Your Local Business? No, you haven't. Well, you should. go and actually visit them and see and list your business, because that's going to be beneficial to you and us, because here's my little badge on my jacket. I support local businesses, and I want you to be one of those because you deserve to be there, And then the other way around, the same thing with with local businesses, actually, telling informing and educating the public out there and say, guys, you should support local business because these are the benefits of doing that, And then the next thing we want to do is paid advertising. So, so it's word of mouth. And then obviously we're going to start looking at paid advertising as well. I've been thinking about this during the day, when we were sitting in the dark without any power. And one of the things that I was thinking about is, we don't want to go out there and spend R1 million on marketing and R1 million on the business. That would be counterintuitive. What we want to do is we want to actually build this monstrosity that we just started. And we want to do it, I don't want to say on a shoestring budget, but the whole idea behind that is to actually build it, on a limited budget, because that actually mimic the same thing as a local business that does not have deep pockets.
I think you hit the nail on the head there with shoestring budget. Like I've committed to doing a course as well where I'm going to show you how you can go to work without going the paid media route. I love paid media, and that's what I do during the day. But most local businesses, if you're a small local business, like even if you look at Facebook ads, you need to hit 50 conversions per week for the algorithm to even half optimize for what you're looking to do. So if you're not an online store selling stuff online, then you shouldn't be paying advertising. There should be structure to your social channels, but we'll get into how you can do all that. But we're going to, exactly what you said, we're going to mimic what you need to do to create your business. And we're gonna at the very least, we're gonna start it off like that. And then obviously as we grow, we'll start scaling and start growing. But we're gonna kick it off so that there's action steps and it's easy to follow.
Okay. And I think then the last thing is what's next. We just want to give you a little bit of a taste. So the next video we're going to do will be about the support your local branding. That's that logo that you see there, and we'll show you the other things that we've done as well. We're going to talk about the social media channels. We want to create and reach our audience, and the thought pattern behind why we are using that specific, channel, etc. Content frequency, the context grid, we'll explain that. Building a following, start that revolution, that movement, launch the interview series, and then the support your local business website. So we've got our work cut out for us, and I think our time is pretty much nearly finished, Meneer.
Yeah, so that is right. But we got to everything.
We rushed it, but we're there. Have a nice evening, guys, and follow us and tell your friends about it and your local businesses about it. Keep well.
Awesome. Cheers.
Bye-bye.